We thank you guys for all the support, our family and friends that have been checking us out. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for the views and the follows. It really means the world to us. All the support that we've gotten, and just want to express that gratitude. So here we are again. We got our good friend, our brother George, back in the house. We're excited for this opportunity. I'm grateful that you expressed interest and enthusiasm and wanting to come back and share your heart, share what the Lord's been doing in your life. It's a blessing. And a fun fact is that we're just about a week removed from July the 4th holiday. Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, it was around this same time when you came on.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why we kind of put the title on it, A Cry for Freedom, because it was around this same time, that's maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So here we are again, bro.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny how that played out. So yeah, man. Just want to give a quick shout out to my wife, Mai. We just here we are on a Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. She whipped up some homemade biscuits and gravy, and man, it was such a treat.
It was good.
I just got to brag on her a little bit, so we got a chance to enjoy a good meal, and here we are now. We get to enjoy this good conversation. Yeah. So man, how have things been with you, bro, since the last time we got together here? I know we stay in touch on a regular basis, but to our viewers, those that checked you out the last time, how's everything been going for you, bro?
Man, it's there's been a lot of changes, I guess, over that year.
Yeah.
All good, right? All great stuff.
Yeah.
Things that God has been doing, and it's been a new journey. I guess I'm on a new ups and downs, a new trials, new everything. But it's been great so far.
Yeah. You took us on a good little ride about your background and your upbringing and everything, and you brought us up to the present, mm-hmm. and how God dealt with you and how you started serving a lot. Have you continued your service in the ministry? Helping out
Yeah, absolutely. That's to me, that's really important.
Right.
It's a part of who I am, and I think it's because of how my past was, how selfish I was before. Where now, everything is about trying to serve others and help others. And I continue there with the ministry, just to be in a ministry, or with the church or wherever I can, offer some kind of support or help. I'm always trying to get involved somewhere.
Yeah. And you guys have kind of gone through some transitions as well, right? Within the ministry.
Yeah. So, it's had its changes, its challenges, its, what would you call them? It's growth pains in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because I think God has opened some doors there to partner with other groups, with other churches, and it's been more challenging, but I think it's just growing pains of what God is doing, and we're just trying to be obedient and go wherever He tells us or leads us to.
Yeah. Any highlights you want to share about that you've experienced since the last time we talked? And with your involvement there, because I know you guys hold men's encounters.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got a chance to describe what those look like.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share, and,
I'll share a bit of that. So with the men's encounters we do, it started off as a overnight retreat that we would do at a campsite.
Yeah.
And it was 24 hours from the moment we got there to where we left, where men could come and experience a personal encounter with God. We don't like to give too many details also. It's a surprise for people when they get there. But it's that, you'll experience God's love, God's, God's grace there. And you'll hear from God. We've seen a lot of men come with either questions or just stuff that they're dealing with and leave a completely changed person.
Yeah. So, from what you've shared with me, it seems like it's a very good vehicle to offer healing and restoration. And for some, it might be their first introduction to God. And that sparking that relationship with Him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So So we've been doing that for a couple of years now. Started from the church a lot of us came from, and then we kind of branched off on our own to do it. God led us that way, but because of that, we've been able to do it more openly for everyone, for other churches or just other men. And recently, a couple of churches we've partnered with them, or they've opened their doors, their grounds to go have encounters there at their churches. Yeah. And so we've done a couple of same day encounters, so not overnight anymore, but there, and those have been pretty powerful too. We've seen God move in the men's lives.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I've been able to be with you, and see you go through that, and see your involvement, and see the fruit of all that you've helped them do. And so it's been a treat to get to see that in your life, and how God has been using you, and you using that potential that I've always encouraged you that you have. And so, man, that's awesome to see that you've continued with that. You've also kind of gone through a transition, as far as finding a home church as well. Talk a little bit about that, what, how you have navigated that.
Yeah, that's right. So it's been over a year now, almost 2 years now, where we started going to a church that one of the brothers that knew us there wanted to launch Maximize Manhood, a class there. Yeah. And so we started going to help them lead that, help facilitate the groups, and spent a whole year there. And then towards the end of the year, I started going more towards the service there, and just got connected with the guys there that were coming to the class. Yeah. And then to the church. Once I started going to the church, it was different than what the church scene that I was used to, coming from the church I was at. But it was familiar because it's a Pentecostal church. And I think I might have shared in the last podcast that I grew up in a Pentecostal church. Yeah. So it was very familiar, but at the same time, it was something new, and so I've been going there now. I've kind of been getting more involved there, and been, I feel like God's had me there to grow, and it's been good. It's at Numa Church in the East Downtown area. Yeah. They've been there for, I think, nearly 100 years, they've said. So, but it's been great so far. Yeah.
And so talk about the process of arriving at that decision. What were some of the factors that you took into consideration when it came to trying to locate and identify, that place that's for you. So for me, it was, I had already been visiting different churches, going to multiple churches. You're trying to find a place. Because for those that don't know, what happened was during the pandemic when everything shut down, one of my main, I want to say reasons for being at the church I was before was the connection I had with the brotherhood there. Yeah. But when the church closed down, everyone kind of spread out. And so that connection got lost at that church. And so I was kind of seeking that as I was going around. And when I came here, because I connected with those guys through the class first, it started feeling like a family again. It started feeling like that. And then, like I said, once I started going to the service, I started feeling God speaking to me more. And I had been in this place where I've been asking God to just help me grow, just help me get to that next place, that next level, whatever he wants for me. And I felt led that was a church that would help me just grow, grow in my faith and my spiritual walk and my journey. And after a lot of prayer and kind of speaking with the pastor and stuff, I felt led to start attending there regularly and not just jump in ship, so to say. Yeah. And so you talk about connection, experiencing a disconnect where you were at, and then immediately feeling that type of connection where you ended up at. And so that seems to be sad reality, but that seems to be what we see a lot of in churches. We're missing that connection that is much needed, and a lot of times we see it on a superficial level, and there aren't the I guess the check-ins that you would normally get, like how a family member would. We're so quick to describe it as family, but you don't see that type of interaction. Except for when you're there.
Exactly.
And we kind of just leave it there, and then we go back to our own little bubble. And that's kind of been one of my gripes and frustrations. Is like, if we're quick to throw out that we're family, why isn't it? Go beyond the walls of the church here. Why do we always just retreat back to our own little bubbles, And like when we read about the early church, there was like overlap between their gatherings and their regular lives, and we fail to see that like the way we should, more of it. And so, that's kind of like been like what we've been on a mission to try to recreate. And you've been a part of that here as well. And so and it's just trying to get others to kind of like open up more to that and be more I guess desire the same thing.
No, that's good. And we were kind of speaking before we even got here just about the traditions or the what we've gotten used to, what church looks like. But since with the ministry, we've been able to go through all these to the different churches, we always see that. And I don't think any church is perfect, right?
Right, of course.
But you see that where the guys will come in a group and they're used to just showing up and leaving and not really becoming that brotherhood, not really like opening up or sharing with each other. And so we see that all these different churches that we go to, just how they're used to just showing up, just sitting there, like no change or nothing. And that's what we try to like bring to them, just show them that openness. But even like in different, I think it's easy to fall into that, even like in ministry, per se, where you're just kind of just going along with the task you have, and that's it. Like not really doing life together, right? And I think we say that a lot in the church, like, oh, let's do life together, and we'll do the life group, so we'll do this, but we're not really doing life group. Like we're just showing up, right? Just
and then we're also following like a curriculum or a program, so it's like basically just a smaller version of what we experience at the church house.
Exactly.
And like you said, we don't get into the intimate details of each other's lives. And we're kind of doing ourselves a disservice. Because that's where when we get into the nitty gritty, and that's where we see breakthroughs happen. We see deliverance, we see restoration and healing and stuff. And we're not creating that space often enough. We kind of limit it to just 5 points on the next, I guess the next part of the curriculum or the program. So, and just kind of discussing those points. And it's just, it's like, what do you attribute that to? If you had to, your observations or, your thoughts on that.
Man, I would say complacency. I heard a pastor recently, Pastor Juan Martinez from Get Rap Church. He was speaking about how, because you shared a bit about his background, like when he was like in the streets, he would search for the purest, his purest vice, right? Whatever his vice was, the purest form to get the best high out of it. And he's like, but now why don't we do that in the church or with the word, right? Instead, we'll instead of getting our own pureness from the word, from a revelation from God, we rather hear a revelation from somebody else through YouTube or social media. And right now that you mentioned the programs that these churches follow, that all the churches kind of follow or have, I'm like, man, that's maybe a revelation that somebody got way back then to start this. And they're kind of just following along with that same revelation, but no one's bringing something new to the table or something different.
A fresh word.
A fresh word, Like what you guys or Mike was saying earlier about the God is trying to do something new and not trying to use, old wineskins for what God's trying to do.
No, it's so true, man. Like, we kind of sit here and regurgitate, like, this is the bread of life, that we're consuming like God's word and revelation about his word. And here we are spitting it back up and just kind of recycling it, you know, rather than like asking for more. You know, or something new or something relevant. For like what we're going through, you know, in the present. You know, and yeah, man, like that's good. Complacency. Another. I guess if, you know, me, from my perspective, like I think another reason is the word accountability. You know, I think a lot of people are afraid to let people in, and like exposing that vulnerability. You know, and so we just prefer to kind of like keep a distance. You know, and you know, and so that's that. You know, for that reason, we aren't seeing those breakthroughs. We aren't seeing people delivered, you know, experiencing financial freedom, you know, finances, for example. It's a very like touchy subject. A lot of people are not like transparent about that. You know, they don't like disclose a lot of that stuff. You know, even, you know, like in the workplace, you know, you aren't supposed to share what each other like salary is and compare and stuff. And I think we kind of carry that, you know, into our personal lives, and you know, so we stay bound in a you know, impoverished mindset, you know, and we don't experience that you know, financial freedom like God wants us to, you know, because we're not opening up about those things, you know. So I think a lot of that word accountability scares a lot of people off, you know, from wanting to, you know, get more intimate. So
letting someone in to who can offer help or you know, just guide it in a different way or different perspective than what you're used to. You know, speaking about being intimate or vulnerable, like I was sharing earlier that I've been missing lately, like that intimacy with a partner. And as I've been praying about it, asking God about it, I realized like it's because I miss having someone to like talk to, like with what I'm going through, with what I'm dealing with, being vulnerable with someone, or especially because, well, as for those that don't know, I know I spoke about it last time about going off and starting a business, you know, actually went ahead and did it, but it's been new territory, it's been all new grounds, and it's been a journey with its ups and downs. Seems like more downs than ups, but but I've been missing that person, right? That helper, that hand, and because I had it before, I realized, man, like how I see. I think about the people that have it and don't appreciate it. You know, I'm like, man, like there's these men out there who have that and aren't using it for what it, you know, what God intended it for, or what it could be. And I've been, you know, I've been bringing this to God and kind of turning it to being able to be vulnerable with Him, being able to be more intimate with God in this area. But it's just, speaking of it now, I'm like, and that's something that I think a lot of people just struggle with, just being open like that with others. You know, if it's hard to do it with God, imagine with others, you know, like just people who can help or should be able to help, but you know, what is it that keeps us from that?
I think a lot of the time it's like you know, shame and the fear of condemnation, judgment, you know, from others. And so we just rather not even get into that. Let's just kind of, you know, stay away from that. You know, let's not go there. So we'll change the subject.
We just put on our face,
you
know,
put on our mask, you know, and that everything's okay. So man, like, you know, those are like, I think, you know, that's what's keeping us from going there. That, like you said, comfort, you know, complacency. You know, I just think we don't realize how blessed we are in this nation. You know, I think a person in the like a low income bracket or like a lower class here is considered like, you know, upper class in other countries, you know, like wealthy in other countries. And, you know, it's like we have an embarrassment of riches. And, you know, that which was intended to be a blessing for us here in this nation has also become like a curse. And so, you know, we've kind of sat back in comfort and allowed it to like cause us to become complacent, you know, and just be satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, and we see all these things going on around us, you know, all these current events, and like it still won't shake us, you know. It's just, you know, as long as it doesn't hit close to home, you know, we don't like, you know, we turn a blind eye to it, and we just kind of ignore it, man. It's crazy, like, you know, even talking about it right now, man. There's been a lot of like crazy developments, you know, just in the past couple of weeks. You know, we just saw the floods that happened in the hill country. You know, just I think the Guadalupe River rose to its highest level like in many years, the second highest level it's ever, you know, risen to. And a lot of people lost their lives. The search is still ongoing for, you know, those that lost their lives, and for any survivors that might still be out there. So a very sad situation, but like, you know, it's like when the news breaks, it impacts us just for a moment. And then we're just back to like, you know, we retreat back into our own little bubble. It didn't affect us. So we're just kind of keep it moving. And
that's true.
You know, and it's, man, it's crazy. You know, it's like, what does it got to take to, you know, to make that, I guess shake us out of that dormancy, that complacency, the indifference, you know, and it's just kind of like, man, you know, if we're being honest, man, that's why you see a lot of lukewarm Christianity out there, you know, just because we're just satisfied with just attending the house of God, you know, a quick hour and a half service and we're out. You know, and it's back to our leisurely activities, you know?
We think that's enough. We think that's going to get us through or whatnot. But it's, I think, you know, I've mentioned since the beginning of the year, I've just felt this sense of urgency. Like, you know, like either we don't have enough time left, there's not enough time, things are going to change or who knows. But it's like we just, it's just can't play around anymore. You know, like things, I think things are serious, you know, but and it should awaken us to just be better or just be better in regards to at least for me when I say that about you know, the kingdom work or God's business, you know. Because I think there's so much work still left to do, and you know, not enough people I think they're willing to go all the way with it. You know?
So that's so true, man. Like, you know, I like how you said the word urgency. It's like, what's got to light that? What will it take to light that fire under us? You know? Like we talk about revival, but it's like, what are we really doing about it? You know, and if you enter and experience like what a lot of churches are offering, man, it's like, you know, are we truly seeing revival? Is this your definition of revival? You know, what does that look like to you? Like I asked you, well, you know.
I, right now that you're saying it, I was thinking like how, and maybe because I've been seeing this a lot lately, how people are just following the traditions, right? Or trying to go the traditional route. How even when it comes to revival, like trying to recreate that with the same methods or same ways that maybe we've seen in the past or that we're kind of used to. But I just think it takes a willingness to not put God in a box, to let God just flow how he does and when he does, and not separate him from other areas of our life. Because I think that could be easy to do too, you know, where we, I think we've said it here before, you've said it, what's the word, compartmentalize, or, you know, where we're leaving God out of certain areas or this, and it's only at church. And I think that might be the biggest thing where, you know, we'll see people who go to church and on Sunday they're, and I don't talk about a specific church here, just saying in general, just the body of Christ, like where they're all in that Sunday, right? They're all in at the altar call. They're all in, you know, fainting, falling out, passing out. But then when they leave, it's like right back to the same old. So, and I heard someone say this once, where if we're not the same there or at home in our quiet place or in, everywhere, then, what's the show for?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like where it's at, where we have to be intentional about who we are, like outside of the four walls.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. It's, you see, like we said, people talking about it, and it's like, I can't help but to like question like leadership and their thought process, cause you hear mention of these things, in sermons and it's like, but what are the actions behind it? Like what, it says, we just continue business as usual.
Yeah.
And it's like, what about the Father's business, and it's like, man, like you said, that urgency, like where is that at? Why aren't we seeing more of that? And like all the while, man, like, our world is under attack. People are perishing, lives are being lost, and transitioning into eternity.
Yeah.
And, here we are just kind of like, content with what we have. And, we talked about it earlier. We felt like, in this year that God was opening the windows of heaven to pour out the type of blessings that we can't even contain, and it's like, are we like, here we are, man, like we're already halfway through the year.
Yeah.
We're on the back end now. So it's like, what, have we seen that manifest in our lives? Can we, honestly say that we've seen that manifest in our lives, up until now? And have we made the most use of those opportunities, to encounter God in that way, because we're already transitioning to the back half of the year. So it's like, if not then, what are we about to do? What's going to be different, for the remainder of the year? And how do we change that?
No, that's good. And I think a lot of times when it comes to a lot of those things that like you start off trying to do in the beginning of the year, by this time you either giving up or just kind of fall back down.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, instead we should be speeding back up if we haven't, gotten there, done that. Like, like again, that sense of urgency to just pick it up for the remainder of the year.
Yeah. And finish off strong.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just like, it's kind of been a lot of frustration, because one thing that we try to practice here, and even in our gatherings that we have, is just like, just trying to, lean into the process and just, it's kind of like just squeeze every drop out of the opportunities that we have to encounter God, and just, seeing a visitation, hearing a direct word from him, because we aren't seeing that enough, in our services. It's like we've reduced it down to just, 3 or 4, good songs, offering, and then a message,
I'm kind of expecting the smoke machines to come back pretty soon.
Pretty much, man. That's kind of where we're at, man. And it's like, it's like you said, man, it's a lot of, performance and a lot of theatrics, but where is his presence? It's like we get a small taste of it, but then we quickly move on past it. We don't yield.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm just reminded of the early church, before it exploded, they were in the upper room, and the word says that they tarried there. And that's, an old time churchy word, you don't hear too often anymore. The tarry.
You have to Google that.
And it's basically just, wait, for the, for God to just like manifest, for his presence to just fall, and just earnestly seeking for that, praying for it until it happens. There's that acronym PUSH. The spiritual acronym for PUSH is like pray until something happens, and we quickly rush through prayer nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And there's not enough tarrying or waiting, for something to happen.
Just get through our list and go.
Our checklist, man. So it's like, man, what does it got to take, And, we've talked about it before, man. It's almost like we are welcoming hardship or crisis to kind of shake us out of that.
Yeah.
And man, it's like, what does it got to take, man? Because I know you share the same sentiment as that we just want to be a part of the move of God, wherever it is, and we're just hungry for that. Yeah. And so it's like, I have my scriptures here open, and, one of my prayers has been to just that God would surround us with like-minded kindred spirits, and I was inspired with that prayer from what King David says in Psalm 119, verse 63. It says, I am a companion of all who fear you and those who keep your precepts. And that's like, man, like, are there still any people that left that truly fear God?
That's good, yeah.
Or that just want, just part-time.
Yeah.
Do that part-time and then still indulge in what the world has to offer,
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's just trying to link up with people like that share the same sentiment and want to see God just like move in a mighty way.
Yeah.
So, and you would think like in the church house, you would be able to experience that.
Yeah.
But it's like far and in between, and we have good church occasionally, but man, it's like, it just stays there.
Yeah.
And we quickly move past it,
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like, I think that's one of the big issues that we're experiencing right now as a body of Christ, that lukewarm Christianity, man.
Yeah.
And like, what do we got to do to kind of shake us out of that?
Yeah. That's tough because, even for myself, like seeing, not only do I see that, like just within, like I said, the classes we're involved in, or the encounters, right? You see a lot of men who come in like that. But you see it everywhere in general. But one area that I've been seeing it a lot lately, or I've been recognizing it a lot more, is in, not to shift things, but in my dating life, like the people I encountered through dating. Even through like Christian dating apps, right? You would think, or at least I would think, that I'm going to meet someone there with maybe the same, like I say, kindred spirit, the same mindset. But I've realized that. So I've realized a couple of things that there's a lot of people who just put it on their profile that they're Christian or have it on their Instagram page, but that aren't really kind of walking it out or living it out like that. They're just attending on Sunday when they can, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing that I've been noticing I've been realizing lately is that, and people are liars too. People are liars. Like, they say one thing, but they're not really about that,
Yeah.
And I think because in my previous life, like because of how much of a liar I was, but when God changed me, like that's something that I've let go of completely, where to the point where now I just believe everyone, right? It could be a little naive, but I assume people are being truthful.
Right.
But I'm realizing like, no, people are out there like just lie for anything, or just out there lying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I see that where I'm trying to find someone who's like-minded, but that's a tough thing to find nowadays. People who and then so I kind of say that to ask you, like, how because you've kind of been on this walk for some time now. How has that been, trying to find people who are like-minded, and how fortunate are you that you have a spouse who is like-minded and
man. I'll be honest with you. There's been times where I just kind of like, I just want to throw my hands up and just give up, the search, or, just trying to put myself out there, because for me, it's hard. We talked about it, we kind of share the, similar personalities, being introverted and, just putting yourself out there and entertaining conversations that are like, don't go anywhere. It's hard for us to like, we talk ourselves out real quick. If it's not something that gets us excited or that we're passionate about, like it exhausts us. And so, just, constantly putting yourself out there with the hopes of like connecting with somebody, and to come up, into a dead end road again, over and over and over. And I was just talking to my friend Terry, who I hope comes on pretty soon, about how we connected.
I think I met him at Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah. He's been over for some Friendsgivings that we've had. Yeah. So Terry, man, like, he called yesterday and we were catching up, and like, I was just, I invited him on to come, talk about how we connected and how we've remained friends all this time. And like, I was just sharing with him, man, I would love to, for others to hear that story, because like, man, you're one of the few that we really have connected with here in the Houston area since we relocated here, like that I can consider like a lifelong friend. Because when I see the early church, it just says they did everything together. They shared everything together. They were like in each other's lives. They were like just directly involved with each other and everything they did. So there wasn't like any retreating. It doesn't sound like they were retreating too often back into their own quarters. It was all like in each other's grill. So it's like, so that's kind of like what I've been on a journey for, like, truly meeting some like lifelong friends, people that, you could do life together with, that are, share the ups and the downs with, man, and be there for you, and that you could be there for them, rejoice with those that rejoice, celebrate life's greatest moments, and then like, be there in the trenches, to pick each other up, when life hits you hard, and, like, he's one of the few that like have remained like, there as a constant, and I was just sharing my appreciation with him, when he called, and so it's like, man, it's been tough, even you would think in church it would be instantaneous, and it's like, hey, you're my brother, my sister, but sadly that's not been the case, and so, like you said, if it wasn't for like I probably would have just given up by now, man, just out of sheer frustration, because, you're putting yourself out there and you're not getting the same in return, people reciprocating the same energy, so it's like when I say I'm going to do something, like I mean it. It's not just, I'm like, I always ask Maya, I was like, man, why do people like have that tendency to just say things just because, just for the sake of saying it, but have no real intention of like following through on it. It's like, what's the point in even wasting your breath and those words? Like, why even say it? Like, if you don't mean it, like, I can't do that, but you get a lot of that. It's, oh, brother, like, let's exchange phone numbers, and let's be in touch. And like,
a lot of let's go fishing next week.
We ain't gonna mention no names.
No names, but you know who.
Yeah. So just that follow through, man. You don't see it, and so yeah, man. It's been tough. It's been tough, and like kind of like right here, I want to be a companion, with those who fear God, who share the same sentiments, that we can bounce ideas off of each other. You have hard conversations. Conversations that you can't really have with other folks, that might have not like, gotten a revelation in that way, deep spiritual things, not to say that we're like, deep, theologians or like any of that, but just, things that God downloads in your spirit that you want to like bounce off of others to see what they think, without them, calling you crazy or that you've gone off the deep end, not judge you and just kind of hear you out. It's been hard. So for that reason our circle has remained pretty small. And we're not exclusive. Like, we're always trying to welcome. We welcome everybody. We tell everybody that visits our home that we have an open door policy. Like, always welcome here. Yet you see people come and go. And it's like. To me, it's like the idea of sharing a meal with people is like such an intimate thing, And if I broke bread with you, it's like, man, that means something. So it's like, didn't it mean something to you?
Right.
Even in different cultures, like I think we've mentioned it here on the, previous episodes, man. Like, when you do that in different cultures, it means a lot. It's a sacred thing.
It is,
you know, but we've desecrated all those things, you know, and we kind of just approach them so casually and, you know, just reduce it down to just a social thing, you know, and it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, exactly. Just inviting someone to your home, you know, I think it is a pretty intimate thing, just having people over and, but a lot of times it's not, like you're saying, it's just not appreciated or looked at that way anymore, you know. But I think about a lot of people who don't like, you know, invite people into their space or want people over like that. And so I wonder, like, what is it? Like, is it like you're saying, maybe that's their safe space or where they feel hidden or you know, like what could it be? But I've been thinking about that lately, just because, you know, I've grown up with my parents. They always opened the doors. Like, we always had like cellulas there.
Right.
Or, and then coming here, like seeing that here with you guys. And now I'm kind of doing the same too, following the same. I'm like, man, it's such a blessing to be able to do that and have those moments with people. But, that's why I say, even with a lot of places that do the life groups at church, it's still not like that. It still almost feels like it's watered down or not fully appreciated for what it is. You know?
Yeah. And so, like, I can't help whenever meeting like new groups or like new people, you know, there's still that initial excitement from meeting them, but I can't help but to, like, in the back of my mind be thinking, like, are you going to stick around? Is it even worth my effort to, like, just pour into this, you know, just so you can, like, you know, bounce and like we not see you ever again? You know, that's kind of a similar experience that I've had with this fitness group, you know, just kind of being transparent. And, you know, they advertise as being about fitness, fellowship, and faith. And you see the fitness component there. Like, they're all about the fitness, you know, you know, they do, you know, people want to go out for a jog, that everybody's like gung ho about it. And then, like, you know, but when you try to get together outside of like anything that, you know, is fitness related, it's like crickets, man. And really that's kind of like what I was hoping to, you know, experience was connections, making connections, you know, and, like, I was excited, man. And, you know, they do this little thing where, like, you know, when you go for the first time, they film you, they ask you questions, and they, you know, give you a nickname and kind of like capture that whole moment. And whenever I went, like, man, I got emotional and I got choked up in that moment. And I think it was from the excitement of the possibility of, like, making lifelong friends that you could truly, like, do life with together. And, you know, you felt the potential for that to happen. But then you start showing up, you know, you're giving it every chance to, you know, to happen. And, like, it's like, man, nothing. And so, you know, it's you end up disappointed again. And it's like, you know, and there's been many experiences like that for me, where I'm kind of putting myself out there where I'm not too comfortable with, you know, just for, like, you know, with the hopes of connecting and making lifelong friends that you could do life together with.
And right now you're saying that, just connection in general. Like, I was talking to my barber recently, and it just showed me how much we all desire connection. Because, I mean, he, just by the way he speaks, I can tell he's not right. But he was telling me, you know, how much of a blessing it's been for him to have had these friendships that he's had for a long time, and been able to grow with them through adulthood, through marriage, through having children, and they get to share those experiences together and do that together. So I see that, like, how much we desire that or want that, and how important it is. But a lot of times we don't. We just don't do take the necessary steps to make that happen.
And just by you describing it, like, that sounds so special. You know, it sounds so special. And I think that's where a lot of the joy comes from, in the fact that you can share that with other people, you know, and, but yet it's like, you know, people just, I don't know, man, you know, so, like, you know, I've kind of experienced that, and I'm left feeling like, man, like, you know, like I haven't gone out there and exercised with those guys, and like, you know, they could have left me for dead, you know, for all they know.
Yeah.
And nobody's like, there's been a handful of guys that I appreciate, you know, have made the effort to check in and stuff and make sure everything's okay. And they have this motto, like, you know, where they, you know, you always pick up the 6. You go back for the person, you know, and leave no man behind.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like, you know, you know, it's, does it only just apply right there when during the exercise?
You haven't worked out?
Yeah, I know. You know, so it's like, man, like, you know, it's like, what's, you know, what goes through people's minds, you know, and it's like, you know, why do we even talk about these things, you know, if you don't really mean it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, say what you mean and mean what you say.
Yep.
You know, but man, that's.
Yeah, no, and that's why, like, you know, that conversation we had after the last meeting at my house, when you stay back behind, I appreciated that so much. And I shared with you, like, I think it's, especially when you've been the one that's kind of pouring a lot more, or been the one, you know, trying to reach out to people or trying to help people, like, you're kind of always left behind in a way, you know. And so that's why I appreciated you, like, you know, just reaching out and just being real with me, right? And because I think that's a difficult thing, like, when you're in those positions where people just don't even, like, maybe it doesn't even cross their mind that you're doing life too. You know? And yeah,
it's so true, man. And it's something as simple as that, man. Like, I mean, I don't even know how it played out, but like, I know it was the Holy Spirit that you know, was there, and you know, He put it in my heart to just ask you, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I didn't have any clue. I didn't, you know, and you're pretty good at keeping it together.
Yeah.
You know, and I told you that.
It made me cry already, bro.
You know, you do a good job of, like, you know, just keeping your composure regardless of what you've been through, and I admire you for that. And you do, you know, and this is one of those cases, and you know, for all I know, everything is great. You know, you're doing good. You know.
Yeah.
And but like, I just felt led, like, hey, you know, are you okay?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, like, little did I know, bro. You know, and it's like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Just taking a brief moment, like, just, are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, and we don't even stop to take the time, or it doesn't even cross our minds, or we're just kind of like in our own little world, worried about what we got to do and what, you know, just ourselves, you know?
Exactly.
And it's just as simple as that, man. You know, just asking, are you okay?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised, you know, what you'll get in return.
Yeah.
And that was one of those moments for us, you know, and yeah, man, just another reminder, like, hey, man, you know, like you said, you're doing life too.
Yeah.
You know, and you can never imagine the things that people are going through, and, like, you know, they just kind of stay quiet and trying to weather the storm and just push through on their own, you know.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I shared, at least, because I know for everyone, and maybe it's a little bit different, but where you're just trusting so much in God, right? You're like, all right, I know He's going to come through, but at the same time, it's like, well, there's people there also, God's people there also to be there for you as well. So that's one thing that I've been learning this season, like, you know, God's giving me the resources, the people, the support group. I need to also, you know, not appreciate that. I also need to appreciate that and do my part as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not just that, but to also, you know, make full use of it and utilize it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times I know I speak for myself, like, you know, I might get a little embarrassed, you know, like bothering people to help me out with something, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know everybody has busy lives, you know? And even here with Doug, you know, shout out to Doug, man. I know he's, like, you know, very busy, and, you know, him volunteering his time, you know, and to help us out with this and the production behind the scenes, you know, like, it's a little bit embarrassing, you know, asking for that kind of help, you know. That's why I'm so grateful that he just, like, volunteered without me even asking to help us out with this, you know. But hey, you know, like God put it in his heart, and it would be foolish of me to decline that. You know what I'm saying? Like, good, yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, and we've had conversations, Doug, you can, you know, speak up or, you know, kind of share your side of things, but I've been open with him, and like, you know, I may not be able to compensate you, you know, what you deserve, you know, or if you feel like you do need some compensation at any moment, man, just please let it be known, and we'll work something out. You know, I've, you know, just try to just be straightforward with him, and just show my appreciation for what he's doing, and the help that he offers us here. You know, but hey, you know, he offered, and you know, like God put it in his heart for a reason. So, you know, just making full use of that. Amen, you know, he has the abilities, he has the knowledge. You know, I mean, there's no way we could pull this off on our own. You know, if it wasn't for Doug, you know, so,
man, thank you, Doug.
Yeah. Shout out to you, bro.
I'm just happy to help, man.
Yeah. So it's just like that, you know, having those, you know, God placing those resources in your life, you know, the people, and, not just appreciating it, but like, you know, taking, you know, full advantage of that, you know, not abusing it, but, you know, taking advantage of it and using what you can, you know, to, you know, get, I guess, carry out whatever plans God has for your life. So, and not staying stagnant, you know? So yeah, man, like it's as simple as that, man. You just never know, man. And, a lot of times you just kind of get left behind, you know, and, you know, the people just kind of sitting there, just trying to like, just push through it and figure it out on their own, man. And, and I can't help but to reference, you know, the early church, man, like, I mean, they really understood leave no man behind. If anybody did, they did. And I think if anybody was falling behind on their finances, like it says right there in black and white, they sold all of their possessions, you know, to redistribute that, you know, among each other for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? Who does that these days? You know, when it comes to like spiritually, if anybody fell behind, you know, can you imagine the apostles just kind of leaving them laying around and just like, oh, deal with that on your own, you know, just pray. It's kind of like, you know, like, you know, faith without works is dead. You know, it's like telling your brother like, oh, pray and you'll get through it, but not doing anything about it. Can you imagine those guys? Just, you know, giving you encouragement and just kind of like leaving you there without taking any action. I find that hard to believe. You know, emotionally, going through emotional like traumas and everything, like, you know, I'm sure they worked through all that together. You know, they had those hard conversations, you know, and it's like, why aren't we seeing, you know, more of that? So, yeah, man, it's just, so yeah, man, it's tough, man. And, you know, just trying to get back to that. And so, it's been hard for me. And, you know, I'm grateful for people like you that have stuck around. Doug, he's still sticking around. You know, we're grateful for the people that have stuck around, man, because I look forward to celebrating God's, you know, those special occasions, kind of like how you described your barber talked about, you know, we say it all the time. Like, we can't wait to be at your wedding, you know, Nathan's wedding when that time comes.
Me too, bro.
You know, Doug's wedding. So, you know, just celebrating these occasions, man, not just kind of going through the hard times, but like also anticipating those special occasions to celebrate you guys with you guys, you know, the people around you. It just makes it more meaningful. Yeah,
absolutely. Man, I want to give a shout out to Tom, my barber. You know, I met him recently. Found him online through an app or something, but he just opened up this shop there. He's from California. And man, has a great deal right now where it's and this is a plug for him, but it's like unlimited haircuts for $20 a month, like a subscription he's starting, and it's man, it's been good. It's been good, and he just opened like not too long ago there. I've been meaning to tell you about it. But, wow! So I might give a shout out to him, anyone in the Richmond area, because he's trying to grow that business. And man, the conversations we had, you could tell he's a good guy. He's a good guy, so a good family man.
That's a pretty brilliant like marketing
it is, yeah.
plan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Got, you know, that's
yeah,
that's pretty. Yeah, that I think that'll drum up some good business for him, you know, like a subscription-based barbering.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's a little bit ahead of its time. You know, he might be onto something there. He might have to copyright that.
That's right.
Patent that. So, man, good stuff, man.
Man, but I wanted to ask Doug too, man, like what has your experience kind of been trying to connect with people? And I know you have someone in your life now, right? But you know what that has been like, you know, finding someone to connect with or having that community.
Like, it feels really good, man. I think that the main thing for me is, you know, like I cannot control people. You know, people have their own paths in life they have to take. Like, I can do my best to try and, you know, just kind of find like a friend group, but
and keep it going.
Like, it's very difficult, you know, like, it's tough. And I feel like those people who, like, stick around, those are the ones who you really want to, you know, just kind of have in your life. And
cultivate, yeah.
I think that the main thing is just to not give up, you know, because people have their ups and downs, and, you know, like, sometimes you just have to wait it out a bit, you know. But, yeah, I mean, that's my take on it.
Man, that's good, yeah. No, I like that because, in my short time, I feel like there's been a lot of people that come and go, you know, and then there are those that stay. And I guess those are the friendships that you do try to maintain, keep up with, cultivate, and make something out of it. But because, there's so many people that do come and go.
Yeah, I just wanted to reference, I saw a post the other day, and like, man, this might be like a broken record, but for the viewers that like have followed us, like this whole connections and relationship talk, because it's near and dear to our heart, man. We're like, as introverted as I say that I am, like, man, like I enjoy like good company. I think we all do. If we're, you know, just being like open about it straight up, like I think we, you know, like being around good company. And when you know you're in good company, you value that. And so it's like, and when you experience a taste of that and like it's gone, it's like, man, you know, it leaves you wanting more of that. So, I mean, I apologize to those that like, hey, haven't we heard this? Like, man, why do they, you know, but it's just, you know, we're in the people business at the end of the day. God created us, you know, for a relationship with one another. And so I came across this post and it says, adult friendships require grace. People are busy. People are healing. People are growing. Don't mistake less communication for less love. Check in, not out.
That's good.
And when I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Like, you know, a dose of reality right there. You know, it's like, you know, that hit pretty hard. It was just a good reminder, man. And, you know, that's something that we try to, we fall short too, man, especially now that we have kids of our own. You know, people might notice that we don't check in as often, and it's not like because we don't want to. It's because we got our hands full. You know, for us, it's all hands on deck with the kiddos. You know, it's just me and my my mom got sick 2 months after our oldest Levi was born, so it's not like we can rely on her to help out or. You know, and be hands-on. You know, we don't have like a lot of family members like near us that can be hands-on with us. So it's for me and it's all hands on deck. So it's nothing personal. You know, people don't hear like, you know, I know people have always been used and can count on us always checking in, you know, on a regular basis. You know, even like I heard from Nathan yesterday, and it's been a while since we touched base. And I was like, yeah, man, my bad. Like, you turn away to deal with these kids for like 5 minutes and change a diaper, and like 2 or 3 weeks have gone by already.
That's funny.
It's real talk, man. It's just like that. And the exhaustion is real. The exhaustion is real. So it's not that like we don't mean to like check in. Like, I promise you, like we think about like, you know, the people close to us like long and often. You know, and
just the day gets away a lot of time. I think because I've kind of heard from, you know, some people in our group like, oh, you know, they haven't reached out in a while, or they haven't done this. But I think for me, because I'm down the street and I've been able to pass by and see some of the chaos sometimes. I know that you guys are, have your hands full.
Yeah.
I mean, with the young ones and everything, and I don't know how you guys take trips with with the kids going through security and all that, because like I know that's
hey, thankfully though, like it's I think they enjoy it as much that they're putting their best foot forward so they can experience it more.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they have their moments, but overall, man, like especially the last trip that we took to Grand Caymans right when they got out of school for the summer break. Man, these guys, like, I remember Elam was watching the monitors and he memorized our flight. Oh. And he was like, we got to go to terminal this. Like, he was like a little pro already, like helping like to keep us in track, while we were dealing with the other two. And like, it was like, each of them were taking turns kind of like showing some responsibility and helping us coordinate that. And so it was special, man. Like, so I think they understand, and they know it's crazy because they know the perfect time to take it easy on us. That's good. They're good at giving us a hard time, but it's like they know when we're like the exhaustion is setting in, and like they know to take it easy on us and kind of lend a helping hand with each other and with us, So like we're going through like like you said, like through the terminals, security, like Luca's having a moment and all fussy and like throwing a tantrum, and we're trying to manage through that. But thankfully the other two are like picking up the slack, so it's like, it's been cool to see, but yeah, man, it's a very real, like, situation for us, and, I like we try to be good about like checking in with others, the people we really care about, the people that God has let us cross paths with. And even though it might have been momentary, even, there's people that we met at the church that we attend that moved on and felt led to find another church to attend. And, we broke bread together, went out for lunches and stuff. So to me, that's special. And I don't ever forget that. So I try to make it a point to, like, from time to time, like, reach out and see how they're doing, how are their kids and stuff like that, just because that meant something to me. But, like I said, some time might go by, and it's not like intentional, like no harm. But like, man, when I read that, I was like, it's so true, man. Like, everybody's going through something. And you just never know if like you just check out. And I don't ever want to be held accountable by God for checking out on people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause He brings people into your life for a reason, I believe. It's not, and it's not just for casual, like just a casual connection, or just for social networking, or to, get you further ahead or anything like that. I mean, I think it's for a reason.
Amen.
Like with our new friend Josh, that I met. I met him at an auto glass, company. I was getting my windshield replaced, and we just hit it off, man. And right away, I knew, like, man, this is my brother, my long lost brother, and like, we've stayed in touch, since then. He's come, to some of our gatherings that we have, and it's been a blessing to meet his family and connect with them, So, we don't take those things lightly, man. When we come across people and get to talk to them and visit with them a little bit, and so we try to do a good job of checking in. And, like I said, it's just, to me, it's a scary thing to, like, for God to say, like, to hold you accountable for checking out on certain folks that He sent into your life for a reason.
You shared with me a while ago about that, like, sermon where the lady was talking about like how your spouse is a child of God, or being accountable for them. And that's something that I really started like taking to heart in my approach to when I meet people, like in the dating world, or while I'm dating, because I'm like, at the end of the day, like if God is kind of bringing them in for this moment, let Him use whatever for the whatever purpose it's for, right? And kind of taking that approach that, you know, at the end of the day, this is a child of God, a sister of God, and I need to honor that and approach it in that way as well. So it's changed my perspective a bit on how that goes, because you're right. Like, you know, we're going to be accountable for all that one day, and I want to make sure I'm stewarding that right.
And even whenever I'm experiencing my frustrations, like I've shared with you about like meeting, you know, people and making, you know, lifelong friends. When I just kind of like throw my hands up and I was like, oh man, you know, I'll just keep it moving and focus on my family, or kind of just shift my focus on other people or other, you know, responsibilities that we have. Like it takes a while, you know, it's a process for me. You know, I don't just like, it's hard for me to just cut people off like that, you know, and I don't think I've ever done that. You know,
you're not a ghoster. You know?
Yeah, it's just I can't imagine ghosting somebody like that. You know, even people that like I've had disagreements with or have criticized me. You know, like I just can't ever like just shut them out like my life. You know, even up until recently, some of the people that from the church where we were first attending, when, you know, out here in the Houston area, when we transition out of there, you know, it's never a pretty thing whenever you're involved and volunteer in the ministry and stuff like that, sadly. And so we moved on, and, you know, we didn't hear from a lot of these folks. And because we wanted to just kind of transition out of there quietly without causing too much of a disruption, and not to lead anybody else astray. So like, it went a while before we, like, you know, without hearing from any of these folks. And in a sense, like, that crossed my mind too. I was like, man, I could have been left for dead for all they know. Did they even like care? Did they truly care? Or was it only because while I was there with them, you know, did it cross their mind, like, what could have happened to me, or where I'm at, or how I'm doing? And how can people, like, you know, just, you know, forget about you like that? So like a lot of time passed. And like maybe within the last year or year and a half, like I've reconnected with some of those folks, you know, and it's like, you know, I probably could have come up with any reason to justify me, like, you know, not wanting anything to do with them, or to just shut them out of my life. But I mean, if you have the love of God, the love of Christ, you know, compassion, like any kind of empathy, like, how could you do that?
Man, it's crazy. Like, it's because I feel like I know I've experienced that too, you know, from the big church I was serving at before, and kind of stepping down and leaving. And I've shared to you like why, you know, I stepped down and all that. But they had a men's night recently, a couple of weeks ago, and I went and I saw a lot of the old guys, old familiar faces, and I'm excited to see them. Right. But it felt like I was like a sick person that they, a stranger, like they didn't want to get too close to or something. Wow. And I was like, wow, like it's almost like, and Doug might know about this, it's almost like gang sets, man. Right? Like gang sets, like, because it's no longer with under their name, under their block,
their
like,
banner,
under their banner, then you're no longer a part of anything. And I'm like, man, like, you know, recently I've been looking into the different letters that Paul wrote to the churches. Yeah. But what I've been kind of like trying to look into is, were they called church this, or what was it? You know, was the church was church even a word back then? And what I'm coming across is that what's the word? Ecclesia. Yeah, ecclesia. Ecclesia. And that's just kind of like the entire body, right? Of Christ, not really a certain denomination or set, but it's like, if we're not part of this, we can't be a part, almost like you can't be a part of anything else outside of that. And it's, at least for me, like, I'm like, wow, like it's I see it like it's wrong, or like how damaging that is. But. Yeah, it's definitely,
you know, the word that comes to mind, and that I've been, you know, God has been showing me, is his body is very disjointed, you know, like, it's kind of like the old board game. I don't know. It might have been before your time. There used to be a board game called Operation.
Oh yeah.
And there was like a person laying on a hospital bed, and it has all the body parts. And it's like that old song, the hip bone's connected to the leg bone, but it's like you got body parts in different positions that don't belong there. It's just like out of place. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's kind of how, like, you know, the people of God are right now. You know, like you said, like, you know, they got all this set tripping going on. Like, you know, this gang, you know, gang wars. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's like, I belong to this group, I belong to that group. And it's like, man, the devil's doing his job, like, you know, creating that, you know, that discord with, you know, with each other and stuff. And it's like, it's unfortunate, man. Like, you know, but like, it's just like, how could you, you know, if you say you know, like it says in the first, the John, 1 John, like, you know, it's like, how can you say you love God but not love your brother? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, man, but yeah, man, like just, you know, and whenever I reconnected with some of those folks, like, you know, and they were open to it and I was open to it, man, I remember just rejoicing, man, and just like enjoying that so much, you know, just kind of, you know, being able to see them again, that they're doing well, you know. So it's like, you know, it's just like the idea of ghosting people. It's like, man, how could you, like, I don't know, man. I couldn't sleep at night, you know, knowing like I've done that to somebody, just cut somebody off completely like that, you know. So, I mean, I understand if like people are toxic and abusive in nature, you know what I'm saying? Because even the Lord cut people off. You know, at a certain point, he like stopped in his tracks and he was like, hey, I realize you guys are just following me because, like, you know, I give you this or the other. So if I, you know, cut off the supply, are you still going to follow me? And sure enough, they turned around and like walked away. You know, it's like, and so he cut like the abusers off. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I understand in those scenarios, but when, for the most part, things, you know, were, you know, it was a healthy friendship, relationship. Like, it's like, you know, how could you just cut somebody off? You know,
or like, I understand, like, if you've already kind of expressed, like, maybe taking a step back or expressed, like, you know, kind of cutting it off. Like, okay, I get that. You've at least expressed yourself or made some attempt. But when it's like out of nowhere, just out of the blue like that, it's like, what, like, what happened?
What did I do? Tell me what I did wrong, at least. It's like, you know, so it's like, man.
What did I miss?
I know.
A reference here. Doug knows.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I don't even know how we got off on that track, but, you know, just, I guess, like talking about lifelong friendships, you know, and you pose that question to me, which I appreciate, because that's kind of been my experience. And like, I've poured out my heart to God, and, you know, like, when I don't really write down prayers, or when people tell you, like, write this down, and when you're in, like, when you're hearing a sermon, like, I don't ever, like, you know, do that. But on this occasion, you know, because this is truly something that I have been, like, wanting and really connecting with those people, because I just want to recreate what we read about here in God's word. And I think true revival will come from that. You know, if we really, you know, do things in the spirit of unity, and reconnect, you know, the way we were designed to, the body.
That's good, yeah.
For the body to reconnect the way it was designed to, you know, not just all over the place and disjointed. I think, you know, we could truly begin to see, you know, the revival that they experienced back then, you know, the explosion, you know, witnessing the power, the demonstration of God's Spirit. You know, if we could put all this foolishness aside, you know, and just kind of get it together. You know, and you know, I guess that's what God is, what we're here for. God has put us here for, is to try to bring about that.
Amen.
That unity. You know, you hear me say it all the time, you know, and that we're just trying to move in the spirit of unity. And we really mean that. Of course, we're going to fall short and miss it on occasion because we're human. But overall, I think people can see our hearts, you know, that's one of our biggest desires, you know, and yeah, man, if we could just get it together, man, I believe we can truly experience that.
Yeah, that revival.
That revival, bro.
Yeah.
You know, just quit all this gang wars and, you know, I belong to this, I belong to that. No, man, we're kingdom.
Yeah, amen.
Are you kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get down.
Yeah, you know? Exactly, yeah.
let's unite against the real enemy, the true enemy.
Yep.
The true enemy is in each other, is, you know, Satan and the forces of darkness, you know. Yeah. And so, man, I guess that's just our life's mission right now, man. It's just to connect with those like-minded people that are serious about, like, moving in the spirit of unity, locked, you know, arm in arm, letting our lives, you know, overlap with each other, you know, just sorting throughout all the messes that life brings, just working our way through those things, experiencing prosperity together, and not like, you know, seeing this disparity, you know, with one person experiencing success while your brother is, you know, struggling financially. You know, pulling your resources together when necessary, like they did, for the greater good. Just really rising up to be the church that he's called us to be, man. You know, and like I said, I'll go to my dying grave, you know, trying, you know. It's kind of like that old that album that Biggie put out, Get Rich or Die Trying. Oh yeah. See the church or die trying. Right. See the church happen, you know, or be who it's called to be, or die trying.
Man, like on that note, like I feel like, because I don't think we'll on this earth we'll get or experience the fullness of it, right? I don't think we can, but it gives us, or at least myself, it gives me a something to look forward to, you know, for when the day does come, what's next for the next life, like something to look forward to, and trying to get some of that here, you know, as much as I can. But knowing that, when that day comes, like we'll live in that. Yeah.
Well, there were many legends of the faith, you know, like you read about the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Faith in Hebrews, you know, like that didn't, like Moses didn't get into the promised land.
Oh yeah.
You know, he didn't, like he transitioned into the afterlife before he even got there. You know what I'm saying? And you see, like, you know, similar cases like that where the men of God, they spent their life just doing what God put in their hearts to do, and they never saw the I guess the harvest. You know, they didn't get to reap the harvest, and you know, it's just, you see it over and over again. So, and it's kind of like how it says, like, you know, some of us plant, some of us water, but ultimately it's God that gives the increase, you know? And so we just gotta, like, just rest in that and not strive so much in our own strength, but just knowing that God is the one who's going to give the increase, you know, and just doing whatever we can to please him and offer our lives a living sacrifice, you know? So, because at the end of the day, that's what it is, you know, just taking up your cross and following him. You know, it's kind of the inspiration behind, you know, this ministry, Endless Pursuit. You know, we're going to die trying. We're going to, like, you know, spend this life trying to chase after him and what pleases him. And knowing that, like, when we transition, like the legends of the faith, that, you know, we'll get to see him as he is and experience that fullness like you described, you know. And and see it in all of its glory, you know what I'm saying? So
see God or die trying.
That's right. Man. So
it's funny, that's an old G-Unit reference. Outside Jamaica, Queens in the house. What's up?
Nah, man, well, you know, I'm glad you decided to come back on, man, and, you know, just come chop it up with me, man. You know, I look forward to more opportunities. You know, I know you're you've expressed interest in wanting to be a part of this, and you have been very instrumental to what we're doing, and I thank you for that. The initiative you've taken just in the past few months. I tell everybody that you're the spark that kind of brought us back together, and we've started our gatherings up again once a month for those that are interested in something like that. You might not necessarily feel comfortable going back to a church house, and you want to, you're feeling like in your heart to get closer to God, and you want to do it in a more intimate setting, in a safe place. I know that gets thrown around like a lot lately, but we really try to create a safe space for people with no judgment, no condemnation, no shaming, no guilt. And if you're looking for something like that, we would gladly welcome you to join us and just do life with us and get to the bottom of some of life's questions, the hard questions that we experiences, the hardships, shortcomings. We work all that out the best that we can, seeking for answers through his word, not through man's wisdom, but God's wisdom. Amen. So, we gladly welcome you guys, those that are interested in something like that. We've been trying to get Doug to join us. Maybe
this next one.
He'll come through. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Doug. But yeah, man, thank you a lot, man. God has been moving in our gatherings, bro. Has, thank you for just being obedient and reaching out and expressing interest and wanting to do that. We've been witnessing the power straight from the very jump.
Amen. And that's what it was, just what you said, obedience. I felt it in my heart to get it back going and just obeying God. I know He brought us together for a reason from the very beginning. Yeah. And just gotta keep it going now.
Yeah, and you kind of jumped offered to jump in the driver's seat, and I appreciate that. You went from the back seat to the driver's seat and kind of getting us together, man. And I appreciate that. Because honestly, I thought it was behind us. It was something of the past, but it's been we see evidence, the fruit, and that's something that when you're looking to see if God is in it, look for fruit.
Yeah, amen.
And we've seen the fruit. We've seen the evidence that He's with us, and He's moving, obviously. Yeah. So I thank you for taking that initiative, man, and being that spark and expressing the interest to help out here with the ministry, man. And thank you so much, bro. I also want to take the time. I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of talk about where you're at and in your journey with your business. I know you stepped out in faith, and that was a process. You had a lot of conversations with myself, and I know some of the other people you respect and the other ministries that you're a part of. And you finally stepped out in faith, and I commend you for that. But like you said, it hasn't been without its. It's hardships, it's challenges, it's hurdles, So where are you at right now with the business? Like, how's that going? Give you an opportunity to kind of tell people like what you're doing and, maybe offer your services to those that could use your help.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. So I definitely took it to God first and consulted with a lot of people, I respect, yourself and some of my other brothers. And, I wanted to make sure that it was a decision that was coming from God, right? That it wasn't coming from, like we had spoke earlier, where it can come from pride, like me knowing or thinking I can do things better my way or something, right? So it was something that I was really seeking God. And then because of that, I believe that it's from God, that I believe is a door God, that God opened. Yeah. And, maybe in my, how would I say this? In my naiveness, I was thinking things were just going to, skyrocket or blow up. Yeah. It's going to be an easy transition, but it's been teaching me a lot. It's teaching me a new way to trust God, a new way to honor God, a new way to minister. Because I see like the business now, like it's not just, it's an opportunity to reach people also, right? With all the people I come across or talk to. So it's been a transition, it's been a change, it's had its struggles. It's I come from being I've never shied away from work, so I come from being like a worker, but now being everything else in a business, right?
Yeah.
Managing it's been challenging, but with God and with the support of good people, like it's been going. It's still going, and I guess for those that don't know, I opened up an insurance agency, or a franchise through a company called Brightway, and do home insurance, auto insurance, RV, motorcycles, anything property, a little bit of business as well. So if anyone needs any help with any of that, brightwayortiz.com.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out.
We'll put the information in the links.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
With the episode. We talk a lot about how the early church pulled all their resources together for the greater good. And I can honestly say that, you're a person with a heart after God's own heart. And, I do endorse this message. I'm putting my name out there. I do endorse this, this business.
Thank you.
And when we talk, we throw around the term like kingdom businesses, and we have, what do you call those little marketing gimmicks that they come out with and all this. And they advertise as being Christian kingdom business, but when it comes down to it, they just treat you like another transaction, And I can honestly say that you're really trying to put your best foot forward and represent the kingdom, even in this endeavor that you've taken on. And guys, I just want to let you know that you're not just another customer to George, and he really wants to help you out and secure your valuables and your family. Make sure you're protected and preserve everything that God has blessed you with, and he's a valuable tool and resource that can help you accomplish that and meet those needs for your family. So reach out to him if you have any of those needs. He can come up with competitive quotes, and even if it might come in higher than what you currently pay, it might be worth it, just to know that you're in good hands.
Peace of mind,
Yeah, peace of mind, and, God forbid, but if there's ever any casualties or losses, he can help you with all of those, get all that stuff situated, because during those times it's hard, to deal with that. And at the same time,
like recently with what happened in the Hill Country, right? All the floods that they experienced. Like I was thinking, because I'm in insurance, all the people that may have not had flood insurance, who are gonna have a hard time dealing with that or getting that situated right now, because a place like that, you don't expect there to be flooding, so a lot of times you don't have that coverage. Those people out there, I'm like, man, they're probably gonna be affected by it. Somehow.
And I know firsthand, even initiating a claim, like while you're trying to deal with like loss like that, and especially if you like got, like you're dealing with the loss of loved ones. That's tough. It's just something else you got to worry about, and, I know George here can help you out with that. And, he has a servant's heart, so that's one less thing you would have to worry about with George, so it would probably be worth the extra cost if he can't come in with a competitive enough bid, or quote, for what you currently pay. So so just reach out to him for all your needs, insurance needs, and help him help you. so
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you coming on once again, man. And I know we'll be back, soon. You'll be back again, and I look forward to that. Hearing more praise reports, of what God has been doing in your life. Thank all of the viewers for taking the time to be with us. Thanks, Doug, for all you do, brother.
Of course.
Much love to you, man. And family and friends, my wife, Mai, shout out to her, and my sons, they're in here before we even started filming. They're excited for me, probably more excited for me than I am. And, they're in here messing with the equipment and stuff. And I'm sure pretty soon you guys will see them on the screen with me, just making appearances. So So,
man, let me just say, I love the Levi's prayer, bro. Like, especially because he was making about others, like making sure that, you know, others are getting something out of this.
Yeah.
And I love that because, especially in children, they just have that almost like selfish nature, right?
Yeah.
But to think about, you know, this impacting others, I was like, wow, that's from God. That's powerful.
Yeah. So I'm grateful for the family God has given us, you know, and shout out to them. You know, they're definitely the inspiration behind everything that I do. If it wasn't for Levi being born when he was born and then dealing with the hardship of my mom getting sick, man, I would be a total wreck.
Yeah.
So I know he came into our lives, you know, at just the right time to help me get through that. And you know, they, you know, I don't know where I would be, you know, trying to deal with that, you know, on my own or just with in the picture. So they've been a huge blessing, you know, no matter how much work it takes, you know, to raise them up and provide for them. Yeah. It's been worth it. When we describe them as bundles of joy, man, they really bring a joy into your life that you can't even describe, a joy unspeakable, gifts from God, you know. So shout out to them. And you know, I'm sure one day soon they'll be behind the mic and, you know, take over this or build it, you know, into something bigger than what it is. So, but yeah, I'm just grateful, man. And, grateful for all you guys that take the time. And, so just, if you enjoyed this, you know, please hit the subscribe button, give us a follow, a shout out, on social media. And, we appreciate all the support. And, we're signing off. Until next time, God bless, guys.
God bless.